来将就不动当年有作大给持有人也表所能见罗罗边界三界罗巴来说昨夜着能来将就不动当年有作大给持有人也表所能见罗罗边界三界罗巴来说
甚至他们这都都是那个养到我做个生意或者不记得也特别少。第一是特别学生，不能说就是这么说就是但什么说。
I just want to remind every one of ourselves to take a moment and cultivate the altruistic motivation or the bodhicitta motivation, seeking complete enlightenment for the benefit of all other sentient beings. And with that kind of at least contrived bodhicitta motivation, we should all participate in this discourse on mind training like the rays of the sun. I'm going to read about a couple of pages from this Lochong text called Mind Training Like the Rays of the Sun, starting from page 61, to give you the blessing of lineage oral transmission, followed by explanation.
Ni ta ba ne ta me kun do to ba ta ge jin ba she she na ba na so ja shen bo bo me ba ta bu ye shen je na la jin ba da to ba she de di shang shu shen bo ce ge shun so ba me wa piao je ro de de shang shu shen bo she ra chen bo那些是了心不，长久什么什么心不是了。成就生八心不八上界心，八上界内心大大，少数众生不到那个人的大不呀。甚至要八对没我也那么也这就要说要这个。
Okay, chapter 2 again.
多少的地里头。小就是不什么心不或是成就是不什么心不，他们这边基本上都写说不的什么的了，你的就老我到你老我到不了你，人老嘛就别很少了，我到人学姐很少了，我同不你。让这旅游我说旅游杨说了说别上年纪是不是了说不上年纪你叫我的你后边心愿你我心愿也不难当然的大家身体给自己家事的媳妇当然把别弄点进去别推着有点点进去听着就旅下到头把上面一些就那不人不写那些我说我刚刚记得我就我的一些就旅说一些为了没有得到了我写过谁若有的我说家吧我都在家吧看不见吧俺家吧莫那那么这个的这边说不是说我的刚给弄我这边的和鱼的鱼很好这边弄就 看到连续剧，看到连续龙剧呗，或者不是做的这家店不是不是不是这不，春节的这把什么，地界的企业经营做的不是不给别生意生意等等别，这些的这个所以看了，都是这个些，东华就说了老说别企业经营的。那个今天说旁边弄着车政了，这车政了，这把说吧，老百姓不就说，都能想法进去，早晚进去，程序什么觉得这把跑着这把住，这边从业三十几的三十几的是呢，他们就讲。他们这讲什句全国的话的那把沙漠，这的小鬼子他们是形容的这些干啥？金巴东个，那东区的叫长沙兄弟，郑州天下这些老吕东啊，在长沙天下这些，长沙是不啥嘞？是不就？ember son de se na nang de de ne sabata je ni ta ba de tebe kun de to ba ta ge je ma che che no na ba no ja chu ba de ba ta me sing sem je na ga se je ma to ba she de di chou ju se ba se che chu mu so ba de ba phyo jo ro de ne chou ju se ba se bo 아까 전주 심바 심보다 지바유노 시 숨바다 세발라니스 다 건제 그 지바톤도 지바르 데레샤다 가지 가르사 샹사 숨주데 심제 너바나도 엔텔리아 지바토도 소소 가르고 있는데 코구베 지바데베 코구 나조 스키바 송 삼네 에네디 지바타데 심제텔 율이 에네 디바타 데바자네 상지 코버터 주도야 어디데 뭐가 시고르시고 세다
So Geshe read from the bottom of page 61 to the top of page 63 to give us the blessing of lineage oral transmission called Lung in Tibetan. Back to page 61, at the bottom we have a passage quoted from Arya Asanka's Bodhisattva Bhumi, or the levels of Bodhisattvas. And so what we find stated there, as Geshe explained, is, as you may recall, that we have been, discussing or talking about Bodhisattva's way of giving or generosity or dan, chinpa in Tibetan. So in that passage from Bodhisattva Bhumi, what we find is that, one way to give in the manner Bodhisattvas do is that out of, pure motivation, pure heart, altruistic motivation, that we give what we have, but transforming them as if in everything that others need, and whatever others need. So we kind of dedicate our giving in those forms, and so give them, to fulfill their needs. But we also, I should say, wish that by way of this giving, may all beings be able to, purify their mental obscurations and negativities, and so may they be able to, accumulate positive energy. So our giving is dedicated towards and for sentient beings to be able to get rid of their afflicted emotions and negativities and accumulate positive energy or merits.
我写什么的，那了你是就了当我当那了当不了你那么学的好不我的，那么学好少我当不呢， 容易流速，但的东上这里啊，你基本遇的要透明这个线的，但人送的，那咱们学考察东西不给，提美国的看看西过了，我听说的，我现在你讲的那。甚至配方东西的，你冷水管东西，你些，但东北配方东西的了，这些，我们呢，容易旅营收了说白是产业界的不，产业界全部界了说白产业界，你这你或甚至因为新业务那当然，但他是生就这，家生的希望，但是旁边弄的也全部。可能有的你平时留下的他们上模式，我记得你说嘛，代码东西都这些，那甚至嘛要你说这个大的呢，这就把这绿的当啊的呢，那可是刚刚被你说东西，那3月东西到2月东西，你这个一个东西他们这边，那生就个这价几万那一天不没有说呢，那旁边弄的。旁边弄的是那大旁边的弄的有的到，可除了有的下到他把啥说的，地方刚刚讲的，那个是要人送就是车呢，那旁边就弄的都是娘是浪的，连他不要的，对不对？连那边的除了有的就得下到他把啥过来是。
没错。
听说得吃不进的不是应该的。
Something I learned from the previous explanation is that as we give in the manner of bodhisattvas, we wish sentient beings to purify themselves of their afflictive emotions and negativities and create positive energy or merit. All of these causes for them to be able to attain enlightenment or Buddhahood. So that's going to be our wish and dedication for sentient beings. So that is why we give what we have to others. So now we are on page 62. So in terms of giving, we could give to all kinds of beings. As a matter of fact, we could give to both animate and inanimate, animate beings and inanimate objects, phenomena. Or that we can start off giving to those who have not entered the spiritual path as if, and then those who have already entered into the spiritual path. So we can have those categories, All of this has to do with to whom we give, right? In terms of our recipients of our gift, there are all kinds of variety of beings, those who have already entered the path, those who have not entered the path, those who are in unfortunate states of rebirth, and those who are in a better, states of rebirth. So as, Geshe explained on page 62, right under the big caption that reads, giving to those not engaged in the spiritual path. So here, by following the bodhisattvas we are giving, we give to the beings in the unfortunate state of rebirth or bad migrations, in Tibetan called Nyensong. And so when we give to the beings in the hells, so in Buddhism we have all kinds of classifications of hells. So we have like 8 hot hells where scorching suffering exists, at 8 cold hells where intense cold suffering exists. There are auxiliary hells, Nyesebe Nyawa, and then there are the adjacent hells, Nyekorbe Nyawa. And so there are all kinds of hells exist with beings going through different types of suffering. So as we give to them, we visualize that whatever we give to them, it really benefits them in the best possible way. In other words, that we feel that by receiving our gift, they are freed from their respective suffering. Those who are in the hot hell, they don't experience any more, suffering of heat and scorching suffering. And those who are in the cold hells, they don't have the suffering of, freezing cold. And the same thing with beings in the auxiliary and adjacent hells. And as a matter of fact, we visualize that all of them have been able to be free from their hellish states of existence, and they attain this special, fully endowed human form of life, which is a conducive life basis, for spiritual study and practice to attain, transcendental qualities. We can talk about the 7 wealth, which are the qualities of transcendental being, or an Arya, Pakpa. And so we visualize that by virtue of our giving them the gift, that they're able to be free from their hellish states, they attained precious human life, and that they are able to, study and practice and attain realizations that include 7 qualities or the wealth-like qualities of an Arya being or transcendental being. Yes.
Oh, this is the course. 이시기 노브를 무시해. 세고라 버치데바 조마타 이시기 루스시라레스 미드달라 세로 잡아다 고통자 잡아 강바즈바 나잡아다 뭐 제규시베 조부소바테 강그 롱주베 강라 롱주베 롱주 거다 제주주베 콜부소바 단지장 티바시부 대배추주베 튕기도 제바 사모스 다들 동유의 지바탄에 간류디 대가스 류 샤라탄부터 뭐이바 아이디 류디 시노다고 뭐네 인트 소소를 컨디지도 그게 가르사 세로 잡아서도 단디 네 주도 또 바니난디 네 주도 바디레도 카즈로 잡아시 다 같이 로 잡아서다 먼저 자세 류적이 세서 이제 ene koton raja se kori dashe bu jidashe da doatse no gelo ko jidashe bu de khoncho maro no se ya gelo se men de khoncho bo se da dige koton raja ba se khangba zo ngab je se de da die bi da bi je di dire da no tong e khos do ro de se khangba ra no so khangba se ba ngaja ba da 강수받지만 나자셔야 된다. 공색 세리서 같이 강바 지도셔 보여 고들으세요. 뭐 지금 조부서 왔대. 뭐 소소 레몬 되게 삼바도 튕게게 뒤로 조부서 봐시. 아니 강그 루시베 땡유 그 루시 루주 강 레지 제고 코르부서 봐. 탑제 이자 대바셔부터 배셔드웨 튕진주어 사모서 왔다 저 당내는 디부터부터 가르쳐서나 다다 롱주 되게 좋아하시 엔티 추르 코 본지디쇼 초보서 마시 근데 강 롱주에 때 유컬라 롱주 컬라 레지 어디에 가가서 domne 엔티에 가가 티바쇼 부에 다베 추르 되게 바실을 좋아스 근데 사모통 그래서
we're on page 62 towards the bottom. As a matter of fact, the second paragraph from the bottom up. And what you find is stated there, as Geshe explained, is that when we make gifts to others, we just don't think of making an ordinary gift with a limited variety of some kind. As a matter of fact, we visualize in everything we give like a wish-fulfilling jewel or a gem. A wish-fulfilling jewel or gem is so precious and valuable that if you do get hold of one and you treat it properly and you pray to it, it can fulfill all the wishes that you have. So as a matter of fact, we're giving what we have in the form of a wish-fulfilling jewel or a gem so that others, whatever their wishes are, expectations are, that it really helps them to materialize their aspirations and wishes. So in the things that we can give, as people have all kinds of wishes, and those who would like to enjoy 100 flavored delications or of food, so we visualize that this wish-fulfilling jewel will provide them with in the text 500 flavors, but that's just an expression. It doesn't mean a number 500, so 100 flavors food to them. Or sometimes, as Geshe say, in Tibetan we call 18 course. It's supposed to be a great delegation there. So we provide them, and they enjoy that. And not only they enjoy it, then they inspire them to be able to engage in the study, contemplation, meditation practice. And then also those who need clothing. We visualize that our gift is like a wish-fulfilling jewel, to provide them whatever types of clothing, the best of its kind that they want. The most valuable and, if you like, exotic clothing, if they like, that's what we provide. And as Geshe was struggling a little bit, he said, in the Vinaya rules, monastic, that when we provide the gift of clothing to the monks very dressed very simply, robes, right? So we are not supposed to provide them with this exotic, like a silk, finest silk kind of thing. But that being said, if a monk is somebody who has really no attachment to wearing that, then it's no problem, even giving them the kind of priceless, clothing of kind. And then also those who need shelter, we visualize giving our gift in the form of wish-fulfilling jewel that provides them the mansions, in which they can live and enjoy. So all of these gifts are not meant to provide them just mundane kind of gifts, but all of this make them comfortable, right? Feel good, so that they feel inspired, to engage in the spiritual cultivation, study, and practice of Dharma. And of course, we visualize our gift in the form of wish-fulfilling gem that provide them the kind of companions that are always seeking, right? Who kind of understand their mind. They have a similar mindset, similar inclinations, and looks like the best buddies of some kind, those who can provide them the spiritual support and sustenance. So we provide that kind of companionships, if you will, to others. So the bottom line is this, that we visualize our gift in the form of a wish-fulfilling jewel that fulfills all of their desires, food, clothing, shelter, and beyond that. And then we wish them to have really spiritual, interest, to engage in the study and practice of Dharma.
Nāgī tēsō pāpē nōr dīn, sūdrūn lā chūwa sō, lāba rīmbu jī dīn sōm dēsē, dō nā chāmi jī shāngchū sēm gīla jē dēsē, chēwa pōrī shība, bā tū jēbē, sōngi tāshīn dē, sāng jē nī, tam jē jāng, sīpchū chūkū dēwā dēmā sāma, sītē bērā, tā tī khāchī sōsō bēkē, then the social big in the unit then talk to you like in the church Geshe you may not call Peto or Tango. I said that Tigal Geshe gets here, that Julia go down to the Jimbatan said that go for a
no.
And the young you talk about Tabeshu, tell some today in the middle, Tabeshu, but tell she you get it. In the direction of the Geshe, the Tabeshu Gavayana. So they are now Tezon of Menipento Baro, but the Tezon Yabu, now ye, Papa Nordu, she. And the Sudula saw about Labe, Laboratory son de Sita direct, that the studio, not a lava so loyalty in the war. Some of them don't shamba the English our change, shall you sim get it. And the puzzle show to Jones Lane.
So here we're talking about how to give in the manner of bodhisattvas and how to do the dedication in the manner of bodhisattvas. And as we said, when we give our gift in the form of, we visualize basically a wish-fulfilling gem that fulfills the wishes of others, including food, clothing, shelter, and beyond. And then we also dedicate that this virtue help them to be able to find interest in the study and practice of Dharma, especially the Mahayana study and practice of Dharma leading to enlightenment. And as Geshe continues his explanation, that you find pertains to what you see at the bottom of page 62 and top of page 63, that those who are deprived of fully endowed human life or a form that is most conducive for study and practice Dharma, we just wish that our gift provides them that kind of life basis, And those who are already human beings, or with the precious human life, just by having a precious human life doesn't mean that you have all the, favorable conditions to practice Dharma. So some of the most important external favorable conditions include providing them a qualified spiritual mentor or guru. Right, so those who are seeking qualified gurus, so we wish that our gift, transforms into a guru and provide them that, that help, and also, someone who are born in a very remote land, spiritually speaking, where you don't hear a word of Dharma. So we wish that our gift comes to them in the form of, Dharma discourses, so that they have access to Dharma. And then, even if somebody, has access to qualified gurus and authentic Dharma, but from his or her side has no faith and no enthusiasm to engage in Dharma, again, something's lacking. Your internal favorable conditions, right? External favorable conditions are there, but something is lacking for our own side. Then again, there is no connect to the Dharma, to the Guru. That's a disconnect. So then we wish that our gifts really provide them the inspiration to develop faith and trust and enthusiasm to engage in the study of Dharma. And so basically, we wish that our gifts, provide them, spiritual interest and ability, to be able to, cultivate love and compassion that gives rise to bodhicitta or altruism, Buddhist attitude, and that helps them to be able to, move towards, enlightened states. So eventually, through our gift giving, that they're able to utilize them in the best possible way, and they can attain the state of Dharmakaya, or the enlightened truth body. So these are our dedications, right? Not only we provide them the gift that they want, or what we feel can most be beneficial to them, but we also make that kind of, bodhisattva's way of, dedication. And so bottom line is that, we wish that through our gift giving, that they are able to develop interest and pursue the practice of 3 higher trainings: training in higher ethics, and training in the higher concentration or samadhi, and training in higher wisdom. So through the 3 higher trainings, that they are able to move towards enlightenment. So we are on page 63, as Geshe explained, that when we follow the Bodhisattva's way of giving and make a gift to others, so we visualize our gifts in the form of a wish-fulfilling jewel or a gem, and that fulfill all of their wishes. That includes ending whatever suffering that they have specific to them. In the case of hell beings in the hot and cold hells, So their predominant suffering is, intense heat and cold, right? And no other sentient beings experience heat and cold suffering like them. So then we wish that our gift temporarily helps them to end their specific suffering. So when they have no suffering, then we wish them all the facilities to be able to engage in Dharma, cultivate love, compassion, bodhicitta, engage in the 6 perfection practices leading to enlightenment. Okay. Now, in the case of hungry ghosts or the pretas, their particular suffering is the suffering of famishing for food and drink. Okay, and so we first wish that that kind of suffering ends, and then provide them the same facilities to be able to pursue spirituality leading to enlightenment. In the case of the animals, lesser kind of animals, their suffering is sometimes how the bigger animals, they eat this, the smaller ones, or that animals are somehow seems to be very simple-minded. They don't have a complex cognitive thinking, so that limits them, from achieving anything. So we wish that kind of limitations are ended, and then we provide them all the precious human life, and then all the facilities to be able to cultivate love, compassion, bodhicitta, engage in the 6 perfections and other virtues leading to complete enlightenment state. So basically the point we are trying to make here is our gift giving is pretty much more or less the same. Where we find the difference is we first wish whatever suffering particular to that being, right, that suffering ends, and then we provide the same facilities for them to engage in spiritual path leading to enlightened state. Yes.
In the Talmud of Gaden, and the Setela Talmud gave a cup the Davis, Minana, Lutami. And then Lutami said, a lump to be Chi Genam, non Genam, Sabe Gen Tamji Sanes, and not that Cuba Samos, not the Cuba, that is Shinia. Conche mean to one year until that you want to career till dear receive that. Casa, any casa, Migumanage, Shushia Begetish. She had said that settle a talent to be Kiami, or she could believe so. Talent to be Kiami, get the settle talent to be Kiami, the never she. That she may well Luton, no, any talent to be Kiami, never you got. Settle a talent. Yes, God and Debbie Vietnam, Luton, Lumdru, Chi Genam Town, no Gen Sabe Town, not any Chauju said the languages of the Kish and Chiba Preparo to Lyon, Condi Shuku go water, what the devil would say what that is red.
No. We are on page 63, the second paragraph from the bottom up. As Geshe explained, that when we make a gift to fellow human beings, those fellow human beings, they are still lacking what we call leisures and freedoms to engage in the study and practice of Dharma. Yeah, they're human beings, fine, but still their life is a lot of distractions and they don't have the leisures and freedom to engage in Dharma. So we wish them that they find those freedoms and endowments, and to engage in Dharma. And then, those humans, for whatever reason, it looks like in this life they couldn't attain liberation from samsara. We wish them, our gift helps them to kind of change that fortune. They don't, that misfortune is kind of transferred into a fortune that they could, as a matter of fact, attain liberation from samsara in this lifetime. So we wish in that gift. And then those, who are on the way to liberation, we wish them all the external and internal favorable conditions that really empower them to be able to do the necessary study and practice, which includes, as Geshe said, cultivating love, compassion, altruism, engaging in the 6 perfection paramita practices leading to enlightenment. So we wish them that they attain all of those things and they do exactly we wish them to do, and they attain the state of Dharmakaya or the enlightened truth body. So this is how we make a gift to fellow human beings.
Sumi Geshe Mojil Neve, Talon la Moshube, Simjet, no Rela, Luz, Sama de Tong, Martian di Choba, Tam Teresha, that didn't lie them, that didn't Karsa. Take the Jazzy Sata, the Jazzy Dollar to the Roa, Dollar to share, and then Tiga Sangin is Dribisha or Suguni Jungis, that the Suguneri Junior, I think that the near the public is about the Suju or Pabani, Nizan or Tipa by the Suzu is at the Nis Junior or the Junior. That's who Mushi do a Nagati by the city she or the Shiva. But today, like Anna lose someone at a town with you that the Jibatan eyes to conduct the town there. And then Kosozo Mido doing that shit. And then you see also to the canny. Rim the Paju Parishima took a lovely. And then some you go to Tosso about the Mongo
Nice. And at the bottom of page 63, what you find is this, that as we make gift to gods with a little g and s at the end, Gods, or we call it divine beings or celestial beings, the way we give is, for example, there are the 4 directional guardians we call Gyeltsen Rishi. So whatever problem they have, because they do have problem, right? And so we wish that their problem ends, and then they find all the favorable conditions to be able to follow the path leading to enlightened state. So this is all to do with when we talk about the desire realm of existence, Dola Rituk. There are 6 different types of little g gods in the desire world, and so we wish them that whatever their temporary pleasures and that can turn into suffering soon ends, and then they find the favorable external and internal conditions to cultivate paths that include love, compassion, altruism, practice the 6 perfection, leading all the way to enlightened state. And then also we wish the other gods, in the form realm of existence. There are 17 actual levels, but we are talking about 12 here. That's from the Brahma family to the level called the Great Result. These 12 levels are the ordinary sentient being levels. There are 5 more where we have transcendental beings on Aryas, so we exclude them, so whatever suffering these gods have, on their levels, may their suffering end first, and then they find all the favorable conditions to follow the path leading to Dharmakaya, enlightened to the body. And then also we make gift to the beings in the 4 levels of a formless realm of existence. So we, as you know, there is the infinite space, nothingness, infinite consciousness, limited consciousness, and the peak of samsara. So again, beings in these different formless states, we first wish them to end their current problem or the suffering, and then they find all the favorable conditions to cultivate love, compassion, bodhicitta, 6 paramitas, perfections, and all the way to achieve Dharmakaya or the enlightened truth body. Nice.
나 됐나가 데터 데바다니 지마샤데 데다 체자게 토모메베 틴 다자게 말 다자게 말 렌정 투마시 렌정 투마시 네가스 눈지지 펜다바 탑지지 고네 펜다 네바 등에 투말이 쩌비 진진도 도 안녕데 시도 냠비 시바 예동어를 깨라 시에 통으로도 쿠고자가 제나지 샤수 차도 르바바 바바초 자 바바초 잡비 초발라 소바 투메 렌자 렌샤베나 다리 뜨다게 렌자 당 티제와 쿠밥 제라 어머에 제자 세드바데 세 그드바데 그 네가 되발라 네가 좋아다 코로 되발라 코로 세게 나는 장 가슴 되발라 가슴 머슴 되발라 머슴 샤자가 나무 되발라 네대다가 나무 쇼와 살라스 세 되바 메바라 제자라 아 제자 샤스베니 샤소 차 되베니 차통 샤 되베니 베죠 riba deveni riba mola papa deveni papa chola ringna jeba miringna ane suela so xie sumba xie lupa tang wa imbeja ta dimda ta nyuje to de ta tero ta jidar so so nye ta te tona te le la borwa ta parma te la shita tseng morwa 또 너희들 또 생각하고 어디 지다 시에서
노죠.
저 너희들 서로 갔다 그랬다. 아, 샤고서 겐 서버 주들 너희들 다지 저주 생教育 송고라서 다 너희들 삼지 제차버 소시 고서다. 근데 대다 대반단에서다. 실로서 배 까지 생고 시오레시. 마시바 타이베다 애들 마시베 내가 까지 마시베 내가 이제 전체부 쉽지 레정만 뭐写下스 진짜 데리갈 때 라불로야도 두두도 가 키샤스 내가 티키자 다 데리게디 루 샤다도 가가 신도 봐 저는 당기 있어 어디서 제도 내가서 니제기 페바사기 페바 탐지고 딱딱 내가 등을 다들 마시바다 마시베 내가 리야 너가 컨세야 그것이 엔 페바 컨도고야 그거 돈 컨세 소소 시야 미는 마도 소소 뉴제 베페다바 데르시나 장이셔야 요 말이시 지다다 디데디야 시야데 다다니시레 데르티 다 비상로다는 저가 뭐 뭐리 페 뭐부터디 삼로 십십부 따서는 다다니시 삼로데 파데서 가도로 어디서 시거서 콜레타 네버 등엘레 도토발 제베 티제디 도안냐베세 시바 니에토모 제라 히야 토모메베네 쿠자 쿠자 체는 이 샤조 차도 루바모 빠빠죠 잡세 그데 잡세 초발로 소바스 투밀 렌샤베나 다리데다 렌자다 틸렌젤 저 쿠라 파 체레 어예 체자는 서바 데바니스 체자남 데발라니 세 그데바니 그 내가 데발라니 내가 좋아도 요건 데발니 요거 세데 나니 짱 가슴 데발레 가슴 데발라 가슴 샤다게 남번 데발레 데다 남번 삼라 되미对吧没呗切下车对呗下手差头通日本对日本爸去爸的人的节目是没人呢错了写书不当我是我的他女人的他带了个一周没咋因为底下一用啊呀差不多的看的是那叫我们妈不写啥的妈西不搞是偏把这种事情也不需要的是근데 마마시면 내가 나다 심지도 그 소도 심지도 샤도 버스 얘기하고 지 차통에 뒤에 있는 배 자도 뭐 통사래지 我说这是在他里边，可是啥，老不这个俺朋友是，是这个老不这老意思。因此说是眼里我的用处都单位，就是看这个我都那写确实。我这些人呢，看见新鲜制造里啊，他一定文化制造，那都是一直毛不上网当的，马些那个被说里啊，听讲的，马些那个下水嘛，插头嘛，他这边开个老说，可是新鲜的我这边。초야 심제되는 속어버 심제 문은 것도 소토예요 말아. 제도 심제 마시면 내가 마시면 내가 내가 인까지 제가 sonza 단단 내가 중세 시바데 다 들어가서 저지 해서 단단 내가 되면 찜이시 내가 배다 되게 수 상도잖아요. 배 로야 보기로 와. 어디 또
we're on page 64. The big caption reads, giving in particular to those who harm us. So the Geshe's explanation pertains to, the 3 paragraphs on page 64. So as Geshe explained, then when we make gifts to others, those who are, dear and near ones, relatively speaking, it's easy to give, share things with them, give gifts to them, so we probably have some feeling that, okay, it's nice to share with them. Or even those strangers who are neither friends nor enemies, I think we may not be repulsed giving them anything. We just kind of, it's okay to give. Now, where we face real challenge is, making gifts to those who have been harmful to us, who have challenged us, and who have made a lot of troubles to us, And this is a really challenging thing. So this is where, on that one page, more in a detail descriptions given so that, we can, do this kind of thinking, with mindfully, that, first, out of bodhicitta, we hook them in the sense we invite them. Like we invite all the beings who have been harmful to us at the moment, so to speak, right? So then we make a truthful statement, like it's a declaration of, the truth. I know, right now you have been harming me, but I understand that since beginningless time until now, you have been so kind to me. You have become my, most loving mothers or parents, and you have sacrificed so much for my happiness and benefits. That you have put up with all kinds of difficulties and challenges just to provide, for me. So I am most grateful to you, right? So the harm that you have done now is really nothing compared to all the sacrifices and love and care that you have given me, since beginning of this time until now. So it's not only that when you have been my loving parents, but even when you are not blood related, but still you have provided sustenance for me. And as a matter of fact, we know that without depending upon the kindness of other sentient beings, we really cannot survive. Our very survival existence is dependent upon, contingent upon other sentient beings, kindness. Yeah? And so other times, we have survived eating their flesh, drinking their blood, chewing their bones, making them work hard like anything, carry our baggages and luggages, writing them, whatever. So even when you have not been my, blood-related parents or something, but you have been so kind to me. Yeah, so that's a truthful statement. So in the scheme of all the things you have harmed me is nothing. So I can easily kind of disregard that. But as a matter of fact, as I think more about these things, I am overwhelmed by gratitude for you because you have been so kind to me for such a long time in so many ways that this little harm really doesn't seem to count anyway. So when we think that way, right, as we remember the kindness of the sentient beings more and contemplate that, so then that kind of hurt feeling and animosity, it really goes down. As a matter of fact, we think that in the scheme of all the things, the harm is minuscule. It can easily be disregarded and forgiven. So this is how we said, okay, now this time I am in a better position than most of you. So I invite you, my guest of honor, so to speak, and I'm giving everything I have to fulfill your wishes. Okay? So we wish that everything we give transform in a way that fulfills their wishes. Those who are, famishing for food and drink, we provide them the best food and drink. And those who are deprived of, clothing and shelter, we provide them clothing and shelter that they needed it. Okay, and so we said that if you prefer to be vegetarian, okay, or maybe today we should add the list vegans, right? My footnote. We provide you what you like, all kinds of vegetarian dishes, for you, or vegan dishes. And if you are non-vegetarian, no judgment here. My second footnote. I'll give you whatever you want. Just like I drank your blood, take my blood. Just like I chewed my bones, chew my bones, right? Just like I ate your flesh, take my flesh, And I'm here really nothing but with most gratitude for your kindness sacrifices, and I have a little chance today to repay your kindness. So, welcome aboard, and please take away whatever you want, and I'm just giving everything to you. And so we dedicate, all things that we have, to benefit them. So as their temporary wishes are fulfilled, then we wish them that they find all the favorable external and internal conditions to cultivate love, compassion, bodhicitta, practice the 6 perfection paramitas, and then they themselves can find enlightened state. So this is how we make gift giving, to the harmful agents or the beings.
ringna jemba meringna tsolo so shesumba sheloba tangos so ringna se de kan ngamra sha so me kai khala ali lukro shi ngamra shi ji yomare de de joga de sanju de sha ma ba khar sa se ro ta shibu de sa de de so khala khala na de
so Geshe
sheloba tangos de ta de inji ro so was na ene pige ronsi ji da senda de 마심이 비고네 저서 그분 야부고니 엔땅고레스 다디 땅베네 페요디고서 다디 따라 땅이 유드다가 롱지에베스 내가 소류장 다 루드다도 비슷 엔침 그런다 루자바데베 셈셈 비 그런 강도저 중요하셔 셈셈 제고 동해다 체스 누수 두바다 디베 사바타지 녀시 shebe changju sim yu la chong de se so yi ta ji de sim ju chu gu de wa de ba sang la ane pembe ji bu de wa yi ne be do ngen ji bu do ngen ra lu la pe no le xian le ba xie jue do se wa da di tu da be ne pe yo di de ta lo le shi.
So as Geshe circling over this, that basically we said, I invite you as my guest of honor with the purest of heart and intention, and I'm really most grateful to you, reflecting on all the great sacrifice, kindness you have rendered me since beginner's time, and this little harm you're giving me, it doesn't count anymore. So I provide you everything just the way you want it, okay? And then if you're in a big rush, no time, you can just drink eat me raw, the raw foods provided, isn't it? But if you are not in a big rush, you have some time, then you can cook the food just the way you wanted it. Just do whatever you like, I just respect you and your schedule and your wish, and just follow that. Okay? So you can enjoy me cooked or uncooked, whatever I provide you. And at the bottom of page 64, the last paragraph, it really reflects on the benefits of giving in this way. And so basically we wish that those who are famishing for food and drink, that kind of suffering ends. Those who are poverty-stricken, so they find all the wealth and resources, if you will. And so whatever their suffering are, it is all ended. And if they have any kind of animosity, malicious thoughts, bad intentions, all of them transform into positive states of mind, so we wish all of that. So through this way, transformation, they themselves are able to cultivate awakening mind or bodhicitta, so that leads them to the state of enlightened truth body or Dharmakaya. So there's a stanza quoted there which basically says, I quote, the result of help is happiness, and the fruit of harm is misery. See your own conditions as an example and do not inflict harm on others. So basically we are reminding ourselves and also sharing this with them that just like, take one step as an example, right? That if you don't like any suffering or any harm, so don't do this to others because nobody likes that. Okay? So happiness is the result of virtue, and the misery is the result of non-virtue. And so let's do the virtue and the non-virtue, and so we wish everybody to be happy and find enlightenment. Yes.
Samsung Korsud, Samsung Chomba Jail Tongato. Young still shell Toyota, young Shadow knows in church. The simple color so young, you must go Shajas or she took the end of the contribution of Yahoo. I didn't care of Marisol. I got you got that the end of it. I didn't know the young Chico. I didn't know Lolly and a young other sort of Tongill sort of. Or did also the summer don't that did the day that is telling the is as a shetty. Young Yamli, she done they short this Euro. What is
on top of page 65, that paragraph tells us that how we practice this giving, we can adapt this to our own individual capacity and what's working best for you. Yeah? And maybe for some, instead of thinking about giving gifts to all the beings in the 10 directions, that seems to be overwhelming and too much one time, we can do segmentation practice. We can say, okay, this time I'm just going to focus on beings in the eastern direction and I'll give all the gifts there. Then tomorrow I'll change the direction. Okay? So it depends upon what really helps individual to practice this as best as he or she can, and really you feel like, okay, this is a very satisfying practice, right, for you. Yeah? And as Geshe said, we use more kind of an example here. Let's say today you must say, okay, I live in Geshe didn't specify in the city here. Let's say I live in Long Beach City. So I'm going to think about all the beings at the Long Beach and make my gift giving. This seems like I can handle it. I feel really good about it. Okay. So then you say, okay, now I'll extend to the next city that's there. So slowly I'll extend to all the beings in the California state. Then I'm going to stay to other state. Then all the United States of America. Then we go to another country. See, this is how we can expand our practice slowly, and maybe this works better for some. So we can schedule it. Today, my calendar, Long Beach. Then next, I'm going to go to, Seal Beach. I don't know what other cities here. Schedule it, and then we can extend our practice, And the bottom line is that whatever works for you individually, makes you satisfying, able to handle that practice, do it that way.
Iba lamji kaza uwe chene tekpa membe kaza las namla lu kanchi inde jungye ishi gi lui namba pue kuze tingi da sanji chomden den sanji chomden de jo komongo de shio newe chena gi Geshe Phuntsok sa sangwa re ni de kombe sonyi tachin de Simji Chugu Devat Demba Samu was that Nira get up to the Isera, to the Shevati, to the said Delia and Sanji Komatoya, Kia the Yomara, the Shena Tata, to Tizol Sheva Pur, and here the Gaga and the Sony to Charge in the Sanji Gomoto, what the Remy was she was at a the Simji Chugu Devat Demba Samu, Chugu Tozi. That take what she would talk Joshi, Paolo Mother Granny. and the Sajul Devi shows us Simbashi. That to get the Simjing Town to whatever. Now the Lungashi, the big the previous, so you touch in there, since you should be the other Deba Samo, Zawa the Jibaji, Padalama, Tamban Namda, Shuji Jidi, come, Tai Mumel and the Shubi, Sanji jumped in the Nanga, Lungashi added that did take Shabra. She put it, so you start in this, and it seems you should good the other Deba Samo, that was it. You don't talk about the things in Tibasible soldier was some magic tire. Don't talk about in the such party because some magic to Gaga to prove the citizen and Diego and the big run Lamios zone and the Yodi best. Chu go one talks on some about the Bashivers.
So we are on page 65. The big caption reads, offering to those who are engaged in the spiritual path. As Geshe explained, that when we talk about giving or chinba, dan, we can usually broadly think in terms of giving in the sense of making offering to objects of refuge, rather 3 jewels. That kind of giving is called offering, and then giving gifts to the poor and the needy, others. So giving consists of both making offering to the sublime beings and giving gifts to the ordinary beings and not only ordinary and others who are not Buddhas yet, if you will. So what we find, stated on the I lost my page 65 is, as Geshe explained. And now we are thinking in terms of making gifts, because we already talked about making gift to those who have not engaged into the path, right? Who have not entered. Now making gift to those who have engaged in the spiritual path. And so as it's explained, stated there, Geshe explained that in the case of Sharvakas and Pratika Buddhas, Aryas, in other words, hearers and solitary realizer transcendental beings, their goal is to find personal nirvana or liberation from samsara. Okay? So because of that, generally speaking, they are not going to be Buddha in this lifetime, all right, because that's not their goal. But now, as we make our gift, we wish them, to, instead of pursuing their personal nirvana or liberation, that they will cultivate great compassion, great love, and bodhicitta, and then they will, follow the path leading to Buddhahood enlightenment. That's our gift giving to them. And then there are those, who are on the Mahayana path, but on the path of accumulation and path of preparation. They are still ordinary bodhisattvas, isn't it? And so then we, wish them to succeed in their spiritual journey, because they have quite a long way to go to enlightened state. So we hope, we provide them the dedication that they succeed in generating all the paths and grounds leading to enlightened state. And then there are bodhisattvas on the 10 spiritual grounds, from the first spiritual ground to the 10th spiritual ground, called Dashabhumi in Sanskrit, Sachu. And so all of them are not Buddhas yet. So they still have to cross certain limitations. So we wish that our gift helps them to be able to cross their barriers, if you will, or get rid of the obstacles, and they are able to achieve enlightened truth body and enjoy that blissful state. So this is how we make gift giving to those who have entered a spiritual path. Yes.
So the Jibaji Padelama Tamban, the Shuji Jide comes Tai Mumeba the Shugi. So they then now say, Lunga, Lutibed, Jinu, Lucidu, put the Pui. To that they did to them, Lu to mother to Lu Mobotrini. Karza, Lu Lion, Yana to Madrid, Judah Divi on the Sunday, Shartse was the Yi Kube, Yi Luli, Chive so, Ramsham, Ye Chava, the big Pui, Tena Tugula, Sababi, the Wacha choba sam desi junju le simje nam yelen ma de sanje tabji che jing sanje de sanje je da de yi changji seba na yin zhudong to de gong zhu jo go bai de ge simje na de ji rong sa je na ni de na je de yi je so se da de bo da ji最当的做的，我这了这些，上街去吧，但上街3个去吧，不要这些。上街3个去吧，不要这了，但看都是那这种，看啥？这了呀，但说是被驴他妈都驴新的，但你下场个驴，呀谁去呀？这嘛的，新的驴，但被这追呢，这追呢是。And the good dream got the Talunga is a good dream got Thursday at the theatre. That you pay charges about the county Chamus and saw someone to take chant to ya. Young dream got the Nabataji Shabbat, and don't you Nabasha is simply told me she has sort of dream got your days, the good dream your day to the journey, and the machine. They are sort of the chicks you are my too much. Rela cut much you do such a concept. 那都是，但这可是长毛我指头自己培养头去吧。我这另外一手就讲呢，那我对吧？那一个天吧，那绿茶是的，我是这不是的，我直接对我这是不是的。
So we're on page 65, the bottom paragraph. So as Geshe said, in terms of gift giving, so we could give gifts to the sentient beings. We could give gifts to the animate objects, inanimate objects. Sorry, so in terms of gift to the sentient beings, we started off with giving gifts to beings in the 3 bad migrations or unfortunate states of rebirth, right? And then after that, we give gifts to those in the fortunate states of rebirth, right? The divine beings, gods, and the human beings. And then we make gifts to those who have entered the spiritual path, those who are following the path to nirvana. So we hope that their attitude change and they pursue the enlightened state rather. And so those who are on the path of accumulation and preparation, may they succeed in completing all the 10 paths and become Buddha soon. And then those bodhisattvas on the 10 spiritual grounds, may they overcome their obstacles and enjoy the bliss of enlightened truth body. So this is how we make a dedication to that. So now, when we imagine that all have become Buddhas, well, the next time of giving is called making offering, right? Because when we make gifts to the Buddhas, it's an offering. So the way we do that is we don't give our body as like we give to the like flesh and bone and the marrow to others, right? The Buddhas we transform into beautiful offerings, that befitting the Buddhas and the holy beings, if you will. And through our offerings, we visualize that Buddhas they enjoy what we call uncontaminated bliss experience, as a result of our gift giving. And so in order to enhance our ability to accumulate a lot of merit, positive energy, so we can do this kind of extensive visualization where as we respect Buddhas physically, verbally, and mentally through the 3 actions of our body, speech, and mind, we can do this visualization. We can transform our bodies into countless bodies. And we make prostration to the Buddhas. It's not like one body prostrating before Buddhas, but it's like countless bodies of us prostrating to the Buddhas, thinking about their enlightened qualities. While we are prostrating, we can also, verbally, recite or chant or, say the qualities of Buddhas, right? I mean, what made Buddhas, among many qualities, is the bodhicitta. So from causal point of view, bodhicitta is so invaluable quality which really resulted in Buddhahood. From a resultant point of view, Buddhas have omniscient wisdom, right? And so that's amazing quality that we are also seeking. So by reflecting on the enlightened qualities, and when we chant that, when we say that, recite that, that is a verbal prostration or offering. And then mentally, we cultivate faith, and the devotion to the Buddha's enlightened beings. So that's a mental offering or prostration. So in other words, when we dedicate all of our being, physically, verbally, and mentally, to honor Buddhas, so we can do it, transforming ourselves into countless bodies, countless mouths that can sing the praises of the Buddhas, right? Countless minds that can reflect on the enlightened qualities. So by doing that, we're able to accumulate incredible amount of positive energy or merit for enlightenment.
Gombo in the Congo, there attack the moment of the dosage. Gombo in the Congo was a Sanji Cargo, the same day, the young citizen, Sanji citizen, the other Sanji go to the Yetera. No, Sanji go to the
Nice.
They get on that year, that's that. They subject that you do not get degrees, that's how you go to a tissue.
Nice.
You do not get degrees, so you don't see shares in those that day. New the Jew in down that Jew in down that Jew down that shades at it. That new Jibaton as a teaser that they shall.
At the bottom of page 65 and top of page 66, we have two stanzas and maybe a few extra lines quoted from Bodhisattva Mahasattva Shantideva's Bodhisattva Char Avatar or Guide to Bodhisattva Way of Life. So these are like dedication prayers from Shantideva. And at the bottom of page 65, it says, may sentient beings repeatedly make offerings to all the Buddhas, and may they constantly possess the inconceivable bliss of the Buddhas. Top of page 66, may Bodhisattvas fulfill the welfare of all sentient beings as they wish to do, and may all living beings receive all that the Buddhas have intended for them. As Geshe was talking about that. So what do Buddha wish for sentient beings? Buddha wishes sentient beings to be free from all suffering and find the bliss of enlightenment. So just like Buddhas wish sentient beings to be free from suffering and find the enlightenment, so we wish the same thing for sentient beings. So that includes solitary realizers, Buddhas, and Shravakas or hearers, right? So may they also pursue the path leading to enlightenment and the peace of the enlightenment, so to speak. So with that, we conclude giving gifts to animate beings or sentient beings. And the next one is giving to the environment. So we will stop there today. We welcome your questions. No questions. Bless you. I'm just kidding. So which means I have a few announcements to make. And if I forget anything, Geshe Lama Phuntsok will remind me. Didn't get to 1 minute, right? So back to the device so that I don't say things wrong. So we have few announcements to make. As you can see that Gaden Shartse touring monks have been housed here, and they've been very kind to create all kinds of mandalas and ritual prayers for the healing of all of us, all sentient beings. So the latest one that's ongoing is the mandala of Arya Avalokiteshvara, a four-armed Chenrezig, and this is pretty much completed soon. And so they would like to make an announcement with regard to that. So the next Tuesday, right? So they will do the ritual as usual in the morning. But at 2 in the afternoon, the touring, the Geshe will explain the mandala significance, and the translator will translate that. So that will be Tuesday, 2 in the afternoon, if you plug in. California time again, as you know. And then Wednesday, in the morning, the monks will do the special, what we call purification ritual practice called Changwa. And I believe that many of you have sent your names of the people deceased, and probably you could still email, I suppose, until, let's say by the Tuesday evening. So the monks will be kind to do the purification of negativities ritual on Wednesday morning. And then Wednesday afternoon at 2, they will do the dissolution of the Avalokiteshvara mandala, this beautiful complex mandala. And as you know, the dissolution practice involves blessing the mandala and requesting all the wisdom beings to return to their natural abodes so that we can dissolve this scent color mandala. So that is Wednesday afternoon at 2 California time. Okay. Next one is, I think monks have been requested and they would like to do the Amitabha Buddha mandala. Okay. And so that, they would like to, start on the June 28th, which is Saturday. If you don't hear my 28th, it's not 28, it's 20, that 28th. Saturday, and because that's a good auspicious day, we check the Tibetan calendar, like we are not doing anything random here. If anybody's thinking like, why Saturday? Like, why not Friday? Like, there's a calendar that guides us. June 21st is Sunday, so we do the teaching, no mandala creation. And then next few days of the week, they will do the mandala. So, and it will finish off on the June 30th, the last day, right? So last, is that the dissolution way?
Dissolutions, yeah.
맞아요. 개인기 가장 때리 찍니 있으면 가르쳐 못하기. 때리 숨지 탐발로 사야 되러 와. 김고. 알레, 다가는 뭐디 두초 제신으로 숨지 뭐. So the June 30th, 30, will be the dissolution of Amitabha Buddha mandala. Okay. So anyway, if you didn't hear me, of course, I believe this information will be posted on the website. Okay. If not, don't call the translator. I just said it because I assume that will be. And
There's a question again there.
there is a question. Okay. Well, the anti-watch looks again. This. So I take my blessing back. I should bless you now. Get my blessing back. 3 questions here. Where are the 3 questions? Okay. Okay. I need clarification. Is the purpose of this giving through imagination earning merit? That's question number 1. So there are a few more questions. I'll go through that. So don't be anxious, right? I'm not cutting short here. 지와 당보되긴 디리샤다 당당간저디 진바탄도 가리야다 지 민남 경고 여러와게 진바탄도 가리야 이식 누벌 메 거대 준제 가르 고제 강가다 지 삼물당데 여러와게 닌데 제자 삼물 담에 추부당데 데 여러와게 디 안에 가서 선음 사야시 당데 여러와서 삼물 자치 무시 당데 여러와게 디 돈다 준제랍데 여러와게 삼물 담에 당데 선음 사야시 당데 여러와서
손사 지고 말이지 그 공매 디데 또 더야야
맞아. The first question is the purpose of this giving through imagination earning merit? Geshe-la's answer is, it's not just for accumulating merit, right? But if we train our mind this way, one day, someday, we will be able to do that exactly. We are able to fulfill the wishes just the way we want it. So it is merit plus being able to do it someday. Okay, that's question number 1. Question number 2. Is it beneficial to practice patience by reflecting on past situations as opposed to real-time practice? That can be your 가장 소바코메 냠낸 숨바르와게. 제가 소바코메야 디 냐마 소소리아 다직 대베나리아 니주 중대 여러와게. 강에테 딘델 삼루탄 소바코메 디그르베사 디 멤버제 단단한 직 소바코메서 체 먹어 제러와게. 냐마 소소를 강에 가르는 다직 중우저와.
디거다. 냐마 소소 지금 멜 두자 좀 코로나요. 나도 사먹고 예바시도 거 디바 사도 거로.
No, sir. So the question again is it beneficial to practice patience by reflecting on past situations as opposed to real-time practice? Geshe says, sure. Let's say if we can kind of come to our mind like, oh my gosh, that, yakety person, because, and then I said some, bad things back to him. So now if we can kind of reflect on that and then we regret for having said unkind things to the person, and in our mind we ask for forgiveness and kind of cultivate that patience, that's fine too. Okay, so it is okay to practice patience with regard to the past situations. The next, there's only 2 questions. Why did I say 3? Okay. Hindu. the chick do it.
And the Kursa, today called the game of Sudujashi, the deputy, Mingos dear and the call by any godas, you know, Teleyago, Shamdi Young, so Sagri, Momo Yungro.
To what they do, I told me, Chivati word was little. So Geshe wanted to add something more to that patient's questions is that not only we remember that and in our mind we ask for forgiveness, but if we say, okay, so may this help me to be able to restore our bad relationship or whatever the case may be, so that can really create harmony between us and this other person who originally we thought is troublemaker, so it's good for relationship as well. Now I found the third question here, sorry. For systemic racism or oppression many marginalized groups experience across the globe, is there some kind of a collective karma that contributes to it? Tiwadi dirish again, that ding sam miri yenje gi nyokta shpishla do yor wage. Chen zamlin kangalo ya di ngogwe de chigdo wage. Sezan dinde tangyu miri ya miri yenje che gi da gyuk chobu yor wage ne dendi. And dinde dile ya ane kasa ngazu diru wage karuso gore. Tanda chidungi leerab chigi di chado yor wes again. Chidungi leerab chigi di suedo yor wes again.
Chidi leer chaya tai. Mata de chidi leer che. That the chain of the Cathedral Young they were.
So Chidung lay in that kind again. Chidung lay in that because the meeting Nago to the Kenta young they were again.
Tanda Kami the city Talakansi called Miri Yangi Kakao Nabu Kecha Ganga doing Yamdo Yungo.
No,
but the Yungo the Cochidin lazy with that.
No, sir.
That got the Yungo at chain of the Tati and Nazi Kisatuation. And put it say the designation in two or but the came of the mother of this was a cheating shadow.
So Geshe, the question is there some kind of collective karma that contributes to it, meaning racism that we confront today and protest around the globe against it? Geshe feel that yes, it is related to collective karma because we know that when anything like any incidents particularly, right, that kind of prompts us and make the racism very salient before our eyes, but then it affects all of us, right, regardless of who are, the target of that racism. In the present case, it's the African Americans, but it also affects other minorities. It also affects us globally, isn't it? So I think so that kind of a collective experience that we have, those who are victimized and those who feel the impact of that, so it is related to collective karma. So those are the three questions on the iPad I have, and there's one more with Geshe Lama Pinzo's little phone over there. Yeah.
There's one question right after that.
Look at that, to one. Mindu. Kiana ji lost it. Kiana ji lost it.
We always believe His Holiness the Dalai Lama is Buddha in human form. But some says is Bodhisattva, not Buddha. Can you please explain?
Sure. Okay. Kandi shweji di de sha nganzo samlo chena kons kyamgwe chombo chodi mi number robe gida sanje ji res wa sanje mi number in a mi kashe lag dos and the sanje mare changju samba chere sir sig dos wa ge ta di session na so da sanje re changju samba lag so wa ge kya ro chene
that you don't have that sanje in so that nang zi zhe chene changju samba so ji wa
no so
timo that ye de tak da jing do she do wa ko ji re de wa
no so the answer to that question, if I remember, is we believe His Holiness Dalai Lama is a human manifestation of an enlightened being. Then some say that he is a bodhisattva. So clarification is sought. And Geshe says that, of course, this is what we call a hidden or concealed reality of phenomenon. Not easy to kind of understand it. But from his point of view, in reality, the definitive answer is that His Holiness is a Buddha in human form, but conventionally, maybe he is seen more as Bodhisattva. In reality, he is an enlightened being, maybe in the form of a Bodhisattva. Not maybe, in the form of a Bodhisattva. take the maybe. So with that, thank you for all your questions, and we will do the dedication prayers.